Hello and welcome to Jumpin' Johnny Gaming Retro Walkthroughs. This Final Fantasy V Pixel Remastered video is the 12th part of the 100% walkthrough. This video series will cover everything you need to do in the game to get every achievement or trophy. We will be getting an optional summon and then continuing the story. There's a few things to wrap up and then we'll be storming Exdeath's castle to take him on. I think there is a slight miscalculation with the enemies, which I have corrected. Don't worry, I still face every enemy, and I try to keep track, but they're all covered. I haven't missed any. After the Great Forest, and head right to the next continent, follow around to get to the big bridge, and before you get to the big bridge, there will be a cave that holds an optional powerful boss, so you will need the right job abilities and a high level to survive. Plus there's one enemy for the bestiary, and make sure you cast Float on your party to avoid its main earthquake attack. You have to go to the bottom right hand side to get the Guild Turtle boss, not the entrance on the left, that just leads you back to the overmap. The new enemy you can get is the Undergrounder. They use a deadly quake move that can be avoided if you have Float. You can use level 4 Graviga, level 3 Flare, and level 2 Ult on them. Head down and follow the path. When you get to the right hand side and through the door, every step you take you will get Gil, and it will double for every step you take up. Randomly, each step you take you can face the Guild Turtle, and I would recommend the Summon ability, and a white mage you can dual cast Blink, and the Image ability is a good way to survive. Always cast Golem so it takes damage, and cast Blink or Image so party members can avoid attacks every time you attack it. It will attack with Turtle, targeting 2 party members, and they will get confused, old and poison. Also, having Float still helps, as it casts Earthquake when it dies. It's weak against ice, so use that as black magic, and Spellblade works good. So does level 3 Flare, if you got it from the Red Dragon. But you only want 2 party members to attack at a time, and they want to be good attacks, so Turtle only hits your protection. You don't want 8 hits of Turtle at one go, so always use the other 2 party members to keep your defenses up. You can't just run from battle to get the bestiary. It's a boss, so you can't escape. Once defeated, it's up to you to get as much Gil as you want without taking on the Guild Turtle multiple times. Exit the cave, heal up if you need to. I went to more, and then go to the chain of islands at the bottom right of the world map. And in the forest area there's 3 enemies to get for the bestiary. There's a rare encounter with an enemy called Hedgehog, but we can get it more easy later on in the game. One of the enemies you can face is Sleepies. They can send party members to sleep. You can use level 4 Gravica, level 3 Flare and level 2 Old on them. Another enemy is Triffids. Like most of the tree enemies, they cast Berserk and are weak to fire. The last enemy you can get, unless you want the rare enemy Hedgehog, is called a Shadow. If you give it an Ether, it can cast 3 blue magic spells if you're still missing them. Vampire, Dark Spark and Off Guard. You can defeat it with level 5 Death. The next dungeon is another point of no return, which means you've got to make sure you have all chests, hidden items and enemies for the bestiary. Make sure you have all these in the bestiary before moving on. Sargate Castle will have a hidden item, but you can't get that until later on. And of course, Castle Exdeath is the final destination of this map, which is 15 treasure chests to get, so that is our next destination. Make sure you are healed up and got lots of items. The enemies are tough, and I was level 47 when I entered. And for the final boss of the dungeon, don't get to be a multiple of 3, as he uses level 3 Flare. Castle Exdeath, if you remember at the start of World 2, in the middle of the bottom continent, where Galif rescued you, and Exdeath put a barrier up, which you took down, and now can access the castle. Head up to floor 2 and then head down to the bottom, and at the bottom left and right is 2 chests to get. 3 new enemies you can face in this castle. You have the rabbits called Hellraisers. Take these out first, as when they die they will cast a rise, which usually misses themselves, but not always, but they always arise other different enemies. They are weak against level 2 old. Then you have the twin lizards. These are weak against ice. They can change the party's rogue by using reverse polarity. And then you have blind wolves. You already have the darkness status on them, and they can cause darkness on the party member. They are weak against level 3 flare. A new enemy you can face is Magic Dragons. It's weak to poison. You can use level 4 Gravica, level 3 Flare, and level 2 Old. They can do 3 Blue Mage spells, level 2 Old, Off Guard, and Aroga. You will probably need Aroga, so make sure you have Learn on all your party, as it's a random spell, which I get in the next battle with the Magic Dragons. You can see a silver metal switch on the right. Go down and around to activate it, and this will allow you to get the chest on the right hand side. A new enemy you can face is the Reflect Mage, and like its namesake, it will reflect most spells. You can mute them with Spellblade, but they don't do powerful magic at this stage. The usual level 2 Old, level 3 Gravica, and level 4 Flare works on them. Head down to the bottom to reach the next floor. A new enemy you can face is the Adamantite Golem, a hardy golem that hits hard. Lightning works well, and they can be defeated instantly if you use a gold needle on them. Head up to the top left and grab the chest, and go through the door to the next floor. 2 new enemies you can face are both very dangerous. You have Bandicurls, which has a death move that can cause instant death. They are weak to fire. Then you have Black Warlocks. They are capable of powerful magic, using Death, Break, Banish, Sloga, Stop and Confuse. They have a rare drop of a power staff, which causes Berserk. Use level 3 Flare as a good spell to defeat them. Cast Float on your whole party so you don't get harmed by the lava, and then go past the stairs to the next floor and get the chest, and then double back past the door, and on the left hand side is a slope you can access the lava, and then go through the lava to the right hand side to access the chest at the bottom right through the small secret passage. It contains a very good bow. Go back left and take the staircase to floor 7. On floor 7 you go up to the top and you stand on the skull, and this activates a walkway that will go from left to right, and you got to step off the skull switch at the right time to reach the chests at either side. The weapon is a good for samurai class, and then in the middle to exit to floor 8. If you goes to a wall, you will face a random enemy that you have faced previously before. Save and heal at the save point. There is an upcoming save point as well, so feel free to use MP. The enemies start to get harder. On the floor 8, get the chest through the small hidden passage to the right. A new enemy you can face here, only if you never got it at Barrier Tower, where it could be a red or a yellow dragon in the chests. I got a red dragon, and they also turn up here. To make a boss easier upcoming, capture a red and yellow dragon, but I didn't do it as you don't want to defeat Gilgamesh outright, or he won't show up later. So yellow dragons, which made their debut in the original Final Fantasy and last appeared in Final Fantasy IV. You can use level 2 ult. They don't have any other weaknesses. They have strong lightning attacks to your whole party, and they can drop the rare but handy coral ring. Another new enemy you can face is Blue Dragons, another dragon that appeared in the original Final Fantasy and last appeared in Final Fantasy IV. It has strong ice abilities and level 2 old works. Also, if you haven't faced the red dragon, these are the fire type dragons, and like the last 2 dragons, appeared in the same Final Fantasy games, but with a slight difference. It's undead, and it's weak to cure and it's weak to ice. It uses a strong fire attack to the whole party. Head to the left side for a chest, then up to floor 9, loop around the 10th floor to get back to floor 9. Cast float on your party so you can go in the lava, then head all the way to the right hand side and take the stairs up to floor 10. The last new enemy you can face is Iron Fists. They are physical fighters that can cause blind, and you can steal a rare steel whip called Beast Killer. They are weak against level 2 old. Get the chest in this small section, then return to floor 9 and then go to the left hand side and 3 stairways. Head to the right hand side stairs to return to floor 10. This section there is a chest on the right hand side, but be careful, some of the skulls will give way and you will go back to floor 9, so follow where I got carefully. Avoid the first skull straight ahead, go down and past the skull, then go right to the next skull, go up 1 and then get the chest which contains a twin lance, a good weapon for the thief and ninja. Now we need to carefully reach the top skull to be teleported to an optional boss fight, which leads to a very good summon. Follow the skulls on the right and don't step on the middle top one. Go up and then teleport at the very top one. Carbuncle, which made its debut in Final Fantasy III, but not in its usual recognisable form. This is the first time you can get it as a summon. It has 2 phases and can easily be defeated on the second phase. Make sure you have blue magic and the break spell. The first phase Carbuncle will reflect spells on you, and don't use any magic or it will bounce off. Use level 2 old to weaken it, and then after it attacks 3 times it will drop reflect and cure itself. It has no telltale signs. It will now be vulnerable to Death Claw and then use Break to petrify it, and then you will get it as a summon which will cast Reflect on your whole party. Follow the path and you will be teleported back to the main section of floor 9. Go back up to the right hand side to go back to the section of skulls, and we want to activate the stairs to go to floor 10. Go right, avoid the first skull, then stick to the side and go down and activate the bottom skull for the stairway, and carefully make your way out and up the stairs. Do not get the chest in the middle first. Go to the top right to go up the stairs to get 2 chests. You'll get a good weapon for a dragoon, and Fuma shurikens are stronger weapons for ninjas to throw. And then open the chest in the middle. There will be nothing there, but it does count as the last chest, and you'll get the item from the boss that you're going to face. Head up to the next floor and you'll get into a fight with Gilgamesh. He has 2 phases. The first, you will have to damage him as much as you can. You can use a red dragon or yellow dragon you capture to do a lot of damage. He will use a lot of status attacks, so use items or Asuna to cure as soon as he does them. Keep using Golem to help with taking damage, and use your best attacks and spells to take his health down. He has a lot of health, make sure you are always healed up. When he turns into his bigger form, don't do anything but defend here. You can steal the Genji helm from him, and you don't want to defeat him or he won't help you out, and a chance to steal another Genji item from him. can now leave the floor using the top stairs, and it's time to face Exdeath. Exdeath uses powerful moves, so always use Golem for taking damage, and cast Float to avoid the earthquake attack, and use Histaga from a Time Mage to hasten your party. He will use Dispel sometimes if you physically attack him. Keep healed up and keep your buffs on. Use level 2 Old and level 3 Flare works good. Make sure you are not in multiple of 3 on your level, as he uses level 3 Flare also, which causes damage unless you still need it for your blue magic. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, where there are more complete retro walkthroughs plus achievement and trophy guides, secrets and tips from the latest releases. Thanks for watching.